Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nolo and today we're doing a Q&A beer edition. So I've been wanting to record this for such a long time and I'm so excited that I can finally do it. Because this is a Q&A, I thought I'd tell you guys a little bit about myself before we get into the questions. My name is Nolo and I'm a beer enthusiast. I love beer, especially craft beer. I love learning about it, I love telling people about it, and I love drinking it. So I've been drinking beer for a really long time. It's just kind of been my thing. I got into craft beer a few years ago. I got introduced by someone and I haven't looked back since. Before we start with the questions, I cannot do a beer Q&A without some beer honey. So today I decided to go with Lucy Goes Cold, which is a Devil's Peak beer. It's an IPA, 6% ABV, and it has the cutest packaging. So how I actually got this beer is they had a competition online on their social medias and they said that if you can spot the penguin first, then you get a case of Lucy Goes Cold. I was like, it's game on, honey, it's game on. And of course I spotted the penguin, which is why I got a case of IPA. But because I have 24 Lucy Goes Colds, it only makes sense for me to have a Lucy Goes Cold on a Q&A beer edition. So I'm gonna open it before I start any questions. Start any questions, answer any questions. Man, IPAs are so good. They're so fruity, so citrusy. Nale guava, ho nale witsekeng ho nka monate mo. Devil's Peak knows what's up. In future, sponsor a girl, sponsor a hun. But of course, I love Devil's Peak in general, outside of them giving me free beer. And they're just a really good South African beer brand. Let's get into the Q&A. First question, what is your favorite beer? I get this question so many times. Okay. I have a lot of favorite beers and I'm going to categorize them. So my go-to craft beer, when I don't exactly know what to drink, when I'm not exactly sure what to have, I'll have a CBC Amber Vice. You guys have heard me say this a lot of times. That is the girl that she thinks she is and will remain to be. So that is my go-to. And then if it's winter and I'm feeling like something a little bit heavier, I'll go for a Striped Horse Milk Stout. Such a good beer. And what did I write here? I wrote down notes, guys, because I don't want to forget anything. And then also a Mad Giant Pale Ale, which I also love. Mad Giant is a very good South African craft beer brewery brand and they're doing so well. And yeah, those are my three. So CBC Amber Vice, Striped Horse Milk Stout, and Mad Giant Pale Ale. But you can't always find craft everywhere you go. It's just not possible. So when there is absolutely no craft available, I'll go for a Windhoek Draft. Those are my favorite beers. How many can you drink in one day? This question I'm bored. Why do people ask this question? I can drink as much as I want. Whatever I feel like having that day is the amount I can drink. I don't like that question. Today I'm drinking 1, tomorrow I'll drink 5, maybe another day I'll drink 2. It's relative. Which 2 ingredients make the best beers? How do I know a beer is good quality? Nice. I'm gonna give you the research version and then I'm gonna give you my opinion. Research says it has to be a well-balanced beer. It has to be balanced with the smell, the taste, the alcohol, volume, and the color. Those are the 4 most important things when regarding a quality of a beer. So the reason I say it's relative is because some people like heavier beers and some people like lighter beers. So yes, a beer must be well balanced, especially the water balance. It mustn't have too much water in it so that you can actually taste the ingredients or whatever the brewery is trying to achieve. For example, an IPA has to be heavy. That's what an IPA is. It's supposed to have a high volume of alcohol. So if you're a person who doesn't like a high volume alcohol, then go for like a light lager. But that doesn't make an IPA bad, or doesn't make a light lager bad. It just depends on your preference. But one thing I'll always say to people, I'm not a wine drinker, for example, but I've had a glass of wine and I've been like, this does not taste good. So it's all about your preference. It's all about the balancing of the alcoholic beverage that you're having. If the beer is well balanced, for me, that's what makes a good beer. Research says if the beer is balanced, that's what makes a good beer. So have a beer, whether you like it or not, whether it's the kind of style that you want. You can tell the quality, you can tell if it's well balanced, you can tell if it's a good beer or not. But my favorite thing, of course, is better ingredients. Better bitches, better money. The better the ingredients, or the fresher the ingredients, the better the quality of ingredients is what makes a good beer. And that's basically what separates craft from commercial beer, is the ingredients. If the ingredients are great, then the beer should be good. I'm out here drinking Bud Light. Do you know anything about it? It tastes a lot like Black Label. Bud Light, I'm assuming, is Budweiser Light, and Black Label, the only comparison that they have is that they're both lagers, but one is a light lager and one is a normal lager. Bud Light is obviously the light lager, and they don't have the same ingredients as well, specifically because one is lighter, but also because Budweiser does not make beer the same way Black Label does. They make Carling Black Label. So the difference in ingredients is that Bud Light has barley, rice, hops, and water, whereas Black Label has, malted barley, maize extracts, hops, and water. So the ingredients are not the same. The biggest difference is the rice and the maize. So they are not the same kind of beer. Yes, they're both lagers, but they're not the same. Also, the calories are not the same because Budweiser Light is a light beer. It's actually 4.6 grams. Yo, I guess it means I must drink more. Budweiser's 4.6 grams of calories, whereas Black Label is 8 grams. But the Budweiser, the normal one, not the light one, that's 10.6 grams in terms of calories. So it depends. Like, these are not the same kinds of beers. One is a light lager, one is a normal lager. So they're not the same unless you're comparing Budweiser lager to Black Label. Those might be similar, but still the rice and the maize are what make them very different. Next question. Woo, are you going to Capital Craft Beer Festival? Yes, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna vlog it, so I'm really excited about it. Pull through to Capital Craft Beer Festival. Also, Capital Craft, can I get free tickets, please? Can the gal get the free tickets, please? But yes, to answer the question, I will be there. Charles Glass Castle Lager is the best tasting full-bodied local lager. This is not a question, this is a statement. Charles Glass Castle Lager is the best tasting full-bodied local lager. If I had to reply to this statement, I would first say Charles Glass Castle Lager is the only commercial local lager. There are a lot of lagers in South Africa. Most of them are craft, but in terms of like what is known as South Africa's commercial lager, it is Castle Lager. So best when there is not a lot of competition in regards to local commercial beers is a strong statement, but I would say it's the only well-known commercial lager in South Africa. But this is a statement, it's not a question, so we keep it moving. I found a nice recipe for stout. Well, tell us what the recipe is, because what I know that a stout should have is malted barley, hops, yeast, and water. Those are the 4 ingredients of a stout. But if you found a nice recipe for stout, I mean, there are different kinds of stouts. You can have an oatmeal stout, you can have a milk stout. So if you found an ingredient or a recipe for stout that we don't know about, please put it in the comments. I feel like I'm rushing through this. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am. I don't know. Let me have a drink. Next question. Why did you leave Beer and Beats? You know, I knew this question was going to come. And here it is. Okay. Beer and Beats is a company that my cousin Leaho started. It was first an events company where he decided that it would be a really cool idea to bring craft beer to Ekasi Mamelodi, because he thought that craft beer is only in affluent areas and it doesn't really reach people who live in the townships, which is 100% correct. And he's a huge music person. He's a DJ as well. So he thought, I'm gonna bring good music and good beer in one place. Also, those two things are always really hard to find in one place. It's either you go to a place and they are jamming really good jams, but the beer sucks, or the beer is amazing and they have a huge selection of craft, but the music sucks. So it was a brilliant idea from his end, and he hosted, I think, 2 events in Mamelodi that were really successful. But I think at some point he realized that it's not sustainable to have an event as often as he wanted. So then came the podcast, and it was himself, Jones, and Senor Ice, who were like a part of the crew, and they were like, guys, we're gonna start a podcast about beer and music, and we're just gonna keep it rolling so people actually get informed about craft beers that they might have maybe not known anything about. So they asked me to join the family. Honored. I was so excited. I love being in front of the camera, and that's how Beer and Beats started, and it was such a good ride. I was with them for a year, and I learned so much, not just about beer, but also about YouTube, about recording, and I learned so much, and it was a great vibe. But after 12 months, I realized that Beer and Beats is not exactly the route that I want to go to in regards to being in front of the camera, and as well as my beer brand. So I just felt like there is nothing wrong with Beer and Beats. I love it still, but it's very informative, which I love, and very like sit downy, let's have a conversation, where I feel like my brand is more entertainment, let's be out and about, let's explore a few things, and also leaning it more on the women's perspective of it, because the whole crew of Beer and Beats was men and I was only female, which I enjoyed, but I just felt like as a female, my beer voice wasn't heard enough as much as I would like it to be. And it wasn't anybody's fault, it wasn't Leaho's fault. I just felt like, if I branch out on my own, I'll be able to also be able to explore on my own, be able to see how capable I am by myself, which is why I left. I started my own YouTube channel, which is what you guys are watching now. And I'm so happy actually that I was on the podcast. I learned so much about beer, and now I actually know how to be on YouTube. I know how to record my own videos. I know kind of what to say and what not to say. So I'm really grateful for the experience. No beef between Leaho and I and the crew. I love the Beer and Beats family so much. They know this. But yeah, I just felt like it was time for me to do my own thing, to spread my wings as a female beer drinker and see where it takes me. Would you be my girlfriend? Ready? No. The answer is no, because just no. No should be good enough for answer, right, guys? We don't have to explain ourselves as women why we say no. Just one J no. Or maybe, I don't know. No. The answer is no. Can you beer next me? I don't understand this question. Can you beer next to me? Can I be beer next? Can you beer next me? Can I be with you next? With beer. Guys, I'm trying to figure it out. Even me. Do you guys know what he's meaning? Please help me in the comments. Can you beer next me? I don't understand. Is it true that beer foam is unhealthy? Beer foam is not unhealthy. Okay, first of all, alcohol is unhealthy, guys. But beer is one of the most healthiest alcohol beverages. So beer foam is not necessarily unhealthy, but it does contain a lot of carbon dioxide, which is used to keep the beer as fresh for as long as possible. So there's this myth that you must pour beer like this, that like you must tilt the glass and stuff like that. So when you do that, a lot of carbon dioxide stays inside the beer. So when you drink it, it makes you feel bloated and it makes you burp a lot, basically. So that's the unhealthy part. You don't want a bunch of carbon dioxide chilling inside of you. It's not nice. So what you actually should do, which people do not know, you must pour beer like this. You must pour it like this. And everybody's like, oh my God, Jen, don't pour beer like that. Oh my God. So when you pour beer like this, all of this is carbon dioxide, right? So this is why people say, oh, it's got a good head. This is what keeps the beer fresh. If it's got a good head, that means the beer is fresh. If this is pop-ups, that means the beer is flat and it's not as fresh as it should be. So this then releases all the carbon dioxide in the beer, but it will settle into the beer. This will be beer eventually. I'll lift the glass again in a few seconds, but it will go down, which means you have more beer and less carbon. So beer foam is not unhealthy, but I would prefer that you pour the beer like that so that the beer can breathe, basically, so that it doesn't sit inside of you. See, the foam did go down. The foam went down. I think that's all the questions. I think I went through them so fast. Now I want to talk some more. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for submitting your questions. I really appreciate it. Please let me know what you guys want to see on my channel. I can't wait to go to the Capital Craft Beer Festival. I will be vlogging it, so I'll also, of course, upload that onto my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. If you have something to say, please comment. And if you want to watch more vlogs and more sit-down videos, please subscribe, my people, subscribe. Thank you so much again for watching. Bye.